France-UK relations are long and complex. Both were conquered by the Romans, and during the medieval period, they were often bitter enemies and fought many wars, even one that lasted 116 years. In more recent times, the relationship has improved, with alliances in both World Wars and the Cold War. In my opinion, the relationship between France and the United Kingdom was best characterised by a French author who described the British as our most dear enemies. This is Alex from Lifelong Learners. I eat both pies and croissants. And today, we will objectively compare Britain and France to see which is more livable. The UK and France both have strong education systems. The elementary school PISA rankings score France above average with a rank of 27 out of 70 countries. The UK, however, comes in the top quarter with a rank of 15. Higher education rankings also place the UK in front, with 32 UK universities in the top 200, second only to America. On the other hand, France has 4 in the top 200. The tables are completely reversed when looking at the affordability of higher education. While cost varies greatly across the UK, especially when considering Scotland's free education, the average cost in the UK is approximately €10,000. This is substantially higher than universities in France, many of which have annual fees under €500. So while the UK has better universities, the cost of studying is 20 times more than in France. Interestingly, even with the higher cost, the proportion of adults with tertiary education is higher in the UK, with 42% of 25 to 64-year-olds having tertiary education compared to 34% in France. There are surprising figures when looking past education and into employment and wealth. Both economies rank in the top 10 globally, but current employment levels are very different. The UK enjoys a low unemployment rate of 4.5% compared to France with almost double digits at 9.5%. The average wage is essentially the same in France and the UK, with 37.3 thousand euros in the UK compared to 37.5 thousand in France. Wages should be considered with reference to the individual income tax rate, and here there is a large gap. The rate in France is currently 22.5%, down from 45% in 2014. The UK has an individual income tax rate of 45%. And which country is cheaper to live in? In the past, France has consistently been the more affordable country. But since 2016, the UK has had a lower cost of living, with a rank of 25 compared to France's more expensive rate of 18 out of 121 countries. While the UK performs strongly in education and wealth, France leaps ahead when reviewing health indications. Both countries have lower obesity rates than the US and Australia, however the stats are still poor, with 28% of UK adults obese compared to 24% in France. Maternal mortality, that is, the number of mothers who die per 100,000 live births, is quite low in both countries, with 9 per 100,000 in the UK and 8 per 100,000 in France. Infant mortality, the number of children per 1,000 live births who die before reaching the age of 5, is about the same in both countries, with 4.2 per 1,000 in the UK and 4.3 in France. Life expectancy figures show that on average the French live 1 year longer, at 81.8 years, compared to the average Brit at 80.5 years. The comparison of happiness is more balanced. Both countries are considered a happy place, ranking in the top 20% of countries, according to the World Happiness Index. France is rated 26 out of 141 countries, and the UK is slightly higher with a rank of 19. The rate of homelessness is relatively high when considering other OECD countries, with the UK at 0.25% of the population, compared to France at 0.22%. Suicide rates per 100,000 people show a wide gap, with the UK at 7.5 suicides per 100,000, and France almost double this rate at 14.3. The British have less holidays each year, with 28 days of annual leave and public holidays, compared to the French, with almost 2 weeks extra at 36 days of leave. Recent events in France and Britain have caused alarm, and some people to wonder which country is safer. The Global Terrorism Index ranking indicates that both countries have experienced a high impact of terrorism, with the UK ranked 34 out of 163 countries, and France slightly worse with a rank of 29. Both of these rankings are worse than other countries, such as the US or Brazil. Homicide rates per 100,000 people are low in both countries, lower than even Canada. France has a rate of 0.6 people per 100,000 in the population, compared to 0.2 in Britain. The incarceration rate in France is lower, with 101 prisoners per 100,000 people in the population, compared to 143 in the UK. The Global Peace Index scores both countries in a similar way, with the UK ranking 41 out of 163 countries, better than the ranking of France at 51. So France, on average, has healthier people who live longer, have more holidays and pay less tax. The UK population pays more for university, but has better education, happier people, less homicides, less suicide, and is considered a more peaceful country. What do you love about France and the UK? Which one do you think is more livable? Leave a comment below, subscribe, and give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.